Your 20s are going to be wild. Nobody gives you a rule book, and somehow you're just expected to figure it out. And let me tell you, I did not have it figured out. I made mistakes, some of them big and some of them small, but they all taught me something. If you're in your early 30s like me and you are trying to figure it all out after fucking up your 20s, this is for you. I want to share with you guys the top 5 mistakes I made in my 20s, so hopefully you don't have to make them too. This is also for you if you're in your 20s and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Number 5. I let way too much slide in my 20s. So I guess number 5 would be boundaries. Not setting boundaries and letting too much slide. I gave too many chances. I let things happen to me instead of stopping them and standing up for myself and realizing I'm worth much more. Whether it was friendships, relationships, or even like work situations, it was all the same thing. I just didn't stand up for myself the way that I should have. And I said a lot of yes when I wanted to say no, just to like avoid conflict or to not lose someone or to keep the status quo, keep things copacetic, right? And all that did was teach people that I was okay with less than what I deserved. It took me years to realize that setting boundaries isn't mean, it's necessary. There's no real empathy and vulnerability and connection without boundaries. Because if you're connecting with someone and you're with them and you're, trying to form a relationship or any kind of relationship, a work relationship, whatever, and you're just giving yourself away, your cup is going to be empty. You are spreading yourself thin. There's no true vulnerability, connection, or empathy without boundaries. And that's all shout out to Dr. Brene Brown, who taught me that. I learned that now in my late 20s. When I was like 29, I started digging into books and her podcast and realizing that you need boundaries in order for anything to be fruitful. If you don't decide what you won't and will allow, people will decide for you. Trust me. They're going to do it. They're going to do what they want. So that was number 5, not setting boundaries and just letting life happen to you. Number 4, I think number 4 would be like not cultivating relationships and like kind of letting relationships and friendships die. You know how you see girls and guys who have like a group of friends and they're also like from a long time ago? I don't have that. In my 20s, I lost some friendships that I didn't have to lose. And it wasn't because of like fights or drama. It's just like I didn't fight to keep them. Life got busy and I got caught up in other things and I just let the friendships fade. And I regret that so much. A lot of the people that I would have liked to still be really connected with and still be one of like my core group of friends, because they once were, are just like Facebook friends now. People I was once so close with are just people I used to know now. Not to be cliche, but it's the truth. What I learned from that mistake was that friendship requires maintenance, just like any other relationship. And I really wish I had made more of an effort to nurture those relationships, because I truly believe that they would still be alive today if I wasn't so caught up in guys smoking weed and bullshit that really didn't matter, and like kind of just like forgetting that like you have to build a life and that consists of like your core people. I wish I had made more of an effort to nurture those relationships instead of assuming that they'd always be there. Mistake number 3. This one is really tough. It's getting serious, guys, okay? I think that this one, and when I say this, it may not be a blanket statement for everyone, but it really hits home for me. Not listening to my mom. And I guess that would apply to like the people who knew me at my core, at my deepest, at my rawest form. I ignored a lot of advice in my 20s. I thought I knew it all. And you know what? If you're in your 20s and even in your 30s, I bet you think you know it all too. You don't. My mom tried to warn me about certain people, certain situations, certain decisions, and I didn't listen. And I get it. Not everyone has a mom that they can go to. But there's always someone, a sibling, a mentor, a friend who really knows you. If you're lucky enough to have those people in your life, listen to them. They have been here longer than you, probably. And because they have been here longer than you, they have skills and knowledge and wisdom that you just don't have yet. It doesn't mean they're always right, but a lot of the times they see things more clearly than you do while you're in the middle of it. Okay, number two. Number two is being too easily influenced. When you're young, you literally have no idea who you are. You believe you do, but you know what show you like and you know what your favorite song is. That's pretty much all you know. And whether you realize it or not, you start becoming the people that you hang around with. And I know it sounds cliche, birds of a feather, whatever, but it's true. I didn't always choose the right people to be around. And because of that, I became a version of myself that wasn't true. Like, it wasn't true to who I was. And unfortunately, that's now a past version of me. And I look back and I think to myself, like, who was that girl? Where did she come from? How did she become that? I don't recognize it. And the truth is, I was just a reflection of the people that were around me. If you are around people who are lost, reckless, unmotivated, or just like not aligned with who you want to be, it's only a matter of time before you start reflecting that. And breaking out of that, not easy. I still carry around shit from 6-7 years ago. And I can tell you exactly where it came from now that I'm older. I see it. I see it clear as day. How could that have happened? Well, you lived that. You loved that. It was your life. You let that happen to you. I say all of that to say, be intentional about who you let influence you. There's great people out there, even when they're in their 20s, right? They got good moms, good dads. They have a core group of friends. They got their head on straight. They may not know exactly who they are, but there's good people out there. Find them and allow yourself to connect with them. Break those patterns, right? And I'm really speaking to myself because I needed that. I needed somebody to fucking knock me out. Like, and I just want to take a break and say, like, with all of this that happened, I'm speaking to myself and to those that resonate with anything that I'm saying. Forgive yourself for any of these mistakes that you made because you did the best you could with the information you had at the time. You did the best you could. And I promise you would have done differently if you knew, but you think you know everything and you're sure that everything's going to be fine and that, you know, that's them, that's not me. You did the best you could, but you have to forgive yourself. I'm not saying any of this so that you can be hard on yourself, but for those of you who are still in that moment to recognize, and for those of you that connect with me to kind of resonate and build a community where we can say, hey, that happened to me too. All right, let's get to number one, letting the wrong people in my life, especially men. This was hands down my biggest mistake. And honestly, it's the one that affected every other one that I've mentioned. It affected everything else. Everything. I ignored red flags. I made excuses. I stayed in the wrong situations, way past the expiration dates because I believed that they could be better. And let me tell you something, ignoring who someone really is will never change them. No matter how much you forgive, no matter how long you stay, it will remain the same because that is who they are. They are telling you exactly who they are. Fuck potential. Fuck potential. Oh, well, and that's good for him. I'm glad. Let his mom love him. Let his mom love him. It's just a waste of your time. I gave away my energy, my time, my money to people who didn't deserve it. And for what? To feel wanted? To feel good enough for the moment? To prove that I'm good enough? Looking back, I wish I had valued myself more, because when you value yourself, you stop letting the wrong people have a space in your life. There's no room for them. If there's one lesson that I could go back and scream to my younger self, it's stop letting people in your life. Love yourself first, and don't settle for anything less than you deserve. But again, I have to say, these mistakes do not define you. We're not stuck in our past, okay? We're in our 30s. We're leveling up. We're getting better. We're growing. We're shining. We're watering ourselves. If you've made any of these mistakes too, please do not beat yourself up over it. Just accept it, forgive yourself, and push on forward because you can do anything. Let it make you stronger. We're bigger than any mistake we've made, and we're capable of creating the life that we want. And that's exactly what we're doing this year. If this video resonated with you, I'm glad. And please make sure to let me know. I want you to write something in the comments that happened to you in your 20s. And if you're seeing this, when you are on your journey to grow and to water yourself, then make sure you subscribe. We're in this together. See you in the next video.